very good evening to you wherever you are watching us from. This is Dalsan TV English News and my name is Abdrazak Ali. We have a lot lined up for you, but first let's have a look at some of the stories that are making headline here in Somalia. Somalia turns away Ethiopian airlines amid diplomatic tensions. Somalia's upper house removes refugees and asylum seekers bill. Sodma distributes humanitarian relief aid to displaced families in Kahda district, Banadi region. Welcome back to this edition of Dalsan TV English News. Preparations for the assumption of office of the Puntland president is now underway in Garowe city of Puntland state.
Preparations for the inauguration ceremony of President Saeed Abdullahi Deni of Puntland state are in top gear. Various leaders and dignitaries have started arriving in Garowe, the administrative capital of the regional state. According to close insiders involved in the inauguration ceremony, several senior, former and current politicians from both the federal and state levels of government are expected to grace the auspicious occasion. Furthermore, reports have emerged of the attendance of former Somali presidents after the regional government extended an invitation to them. However, details remain scant of the Somali leaders who will participate in the ceremony, even as the scheduled timeline of the inaugural event remains unknown. Puntland State had recently conducted an indirect election where the incumbent President Saeed Abdullahi Deni overwhelmingly secured re-elections in closely contested polls that attracted formidable candidates, including Somalia's former Foreign Affairs Minister Abshir Umar Hururse. Deni won with 45 votes in the third round of voting, while his closest competitor, Dr. Guled Saleh, garnered 21 votes. Prior to the elections, Puntland witnessed a state of political and electoral impasse, following disagreement over the mode of elections, with the state leader insisting on universal suffrage elections, while the opposition candidates clung on to an indirect election system.
Now elsewhere, in a move highlighting the strained diplomatic relations between Somalia and Ethiopia, the Somalia federal government has made the decision on Wednesday to deny entry to an Ethiopian flight bound for Hargeisa, the administrative seat of the self-proclaimed Republic of Somaliland. In a move highlighting the strained diplomatic relations between Somalia and Ethiopia, the Somalia federal government made the decision on Wednesday to deny entry to an Ethiopian flight bound for Hargeisa, the administrative seat of the self-proclaimed Republic of Somaliland. The flight, carrying senior government officials, was informed by the Somali Civil Aviation Authority of its dismissal from landing or using Somali airspace. Despite the directive, the flight resisted and compelled the authority to contact their Ethiopian counterparts to relay the decision to bar the flight from entering Somalia's borders. The flight was eventually forced to return to its initial take-off point in Addis Ababa. This incident occurs amidst heightened tensions stemming from controversial port deal recently signed by Ethiopia and Somaliland, granting Ethiopia access to the Red Sea. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and PM Hamza Abdi Barre have strongly warned Ethiopian authorities about the potential catastrophic effects of this deal. In response to the escalating situation, IGAD has convened an extraordinary summit to address the simmering tension between the two neighboring countries. However, Ethiopia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a statement on Tuesday evening formally apologizing for not participating in the upcoming meeting. It is important to note that Ethiopia has lacked direct sea access since Eritrea's succession and independence in 1993. In the past, Addis Ababa had pursued a similar proposal, with Asmara offering equity in Ethiopian Airlines in exchange for access to Eritrea's Red Sea port of Massawa. While Somaliland does not have its own airline, Hargeisa Airport serves as the main transportation hub for the region. Currently, the airport facilitates 32 weekly scheduled departures, providing a total of 4,462 scheduled departures seats. Ethiopia Airlines holds the largest market share at the airport, accounting for 45.9% of weekly scheduled capacity. Despite its contested international status, Hargeisa maintains air traffic connections with the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and Kenya. Somali senators have on Tuesday unanimously voted and approved the Refugees and Asylum Seekers Bill. The new bill establishes legal framework for the rights and obligations of the internally displaced persons (IDPs) in the country. Our reporter has more.
Somali senators have on Tuesday unanimously voted and improved the Refugees and Asylum Seekers Bill. The new bill establishes a legal framework for the rights and obligations of the internally displaced persons in the country. The bill also sets out a legal framework for dealing foreigners who seek asylum in Somalia. The Ministry of Interior, Federal Affairs and Reconciliation that drafted and submitted the bill to the upper house for approval expressed the gratitude to the lawmakers for enacting the critical legislation, saying it would help address the challenges and plight of the displaced people. The estimated 4 million internally displaced people in Somalia, the first group of the population, have fled conflict, violence and poverty.
Now elsewhere, Somali National Disaster Management Agency, that is SODMA, has distributed wide range of essential food supplies to 400 vulnerable displaced families in the Kahda district. The families who received the aid consignment expressed gratitude to the Disaster Management Agency for its timely response, saying it would help them cope up with challenges of shortage of food which has characterized their lives.
Somali National Disaster Management Agency has on Monday distributed a wide range of essential food supplies to 400 displaced families in the Kahda district, Banad region. The families who received the aid consignment expressed gratitude to the disaster agency for its timely response, saying it will help them cope up with the challenges of shortage of food which has characterized their lives. Senior officials of the National Disaster Agency who were involved in the distribution exercise pledged the continued unwavering commitment by the agency in coordinating and heightening relief efforts for the Somali population severely affected by the natural calamities, including the ongoing flooding, which have displaced more than 2 million people and killed over 110 others. The disaster agency had in December last year handed over 3,800 tons of relief shipment to the Banad regional government to help about 150,000 vulnerable families adversely affected by the drought, El Nino rains and other natural disasters. The agency has in recent days stepped up humanitarian relief efforts aimed at alleviating the suffering of the Somali population who have been negatively affected by the current flooding.
Well, that story of Sodma brings us to the end of this bulletin. My name is Abdulrazak Ali. We wish you a lovely evening.